Hello everyone, my name is Steven Zapata. I'm a concept artist, illustrator, online art teacher, and former instructor at Art Center College of Design. I would like to introduce you to my new drawing course, Form from Imagination, a course designed to help you draw with confidence from your mind. Maybe you want to be a professional illustrator or designer, maybe you want to be a master with a pencil, or maybe you just want to be the best artist that you can be. Beautiful goals. But it's not always clear how to improve the work that you do from imagination. Over the past 6 months, I've taken all of the little eurekas, tips, and essential exercises that gave me confidence drawing from my mind and compiled them into a sequential course. We start with the absolute foundations, covering the scientific nature of light and shadow, how to hatch, how to create flat tones, how to render spheres and cubes, and step by step, we move through combined shapes, complex shapes, organic shapes. We cover how to simplify extremely complex subjects like the head into basic shapes so that you can handle them more easily from your head. We look at how to understand and treat details. And by the end of these 14 chapters with over 50 video lessons, you'll be ready to do complex designs from your mind with fidelity and energy. And all the demos are done in pencil on paper, so you can do all of the assignments even if you don't have a fancy digital art setup. But I also have demos, instructions, and modifications to the assignments for those who do want to do them digitally. Here's how it works. Go to formfromimagination.com and sign up for the course. Download the assignment book and start watching the lectures. Do the assignments at your own pace. Take your time with them and use this self-study to develop your patience. When you're done, post your assignments in the exclusive community hub, and I'll personally critique your work with drawovers, diagrams, and advice. I want you to know, this course is no joke just because it's online. It is challenging content, and it is more complete than it would be if I was teaching this class at an art college as I have before. If I was teaching this class in person at Art Center today, I would just play these videos in class, knowing full well that they're the most concise, focused, edited, step-by-step way to convey the material. So I'm serious when I say, this course isn't just a substitute for a college-level course, it's better than a college-level course. And you don't have to pay thousands of dollars per credit and wind up hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So thank you for checking out the course, thank you for watching this and for your support, and thank you for drawing. Hello. So, am I good? So I must have run, I don't know, over 30 test streams today. Trying to fix my bitrate confusion. Let me move my mic here. It's way too far away. And yeah, because we had problems on the last stream. I tested it again this morning before I was going to stream this morning, so I tested it again, and I did encounter problems. And then I changed a bunch of stuff. I eventually isolated it to the bit rate, and I kept dropping my bit rate until I fixed the problem. And then once I fixed it, I didn't just accept one stream. I must have run 5 private streams that I let go for half hour to an hour while I did other things. And there was no problems. And I thought I had fixed it. And of course, this stream drops out right at the beginning. So, as I said on the last stream, you don't really know until you actually run the goddamn thingamajobber. So I hope I look okay right now. Autumn Rose says, hope y'all are doing good. I'm just stressed about art again like all of us are. Don't stress. We're not all stressed. It's possible not to stress. It's hard though. Up here. And I was moving my setup around, so my webcam's in the wrong place. I'm sorry that I'm handling these things live on the internet. Let me move my camera's didgeridoo-doo-doo. Okay, now I'm the man in the circle. All right. A reminder that today is the last day of the sale. If you have been thinking about getting the course, if you've been thinking about you get the course, the info is in the top left. There was a problem with the coupon yesterday, and I fixed it, so the coupon works. And yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know. It'll be over tonight. So if you've ever been interested in you get the course, it might be the time to you get the course. I'm still getting used to being on Windows again. How do I make my, you Windows people, I'm a week old being back to Windows. How do I make my taskbar smaller? The music is a bit loud, says Dino Blaster. Very funny. How does it sound? Does it sound good in here? I mess with the fan curves on my computer even further. So I feel like it should be pretty quiet in the background. Is it pretty quiet in the background? I feel like it was much louder last time. But since I was running bitrate tests all morning, I took the opportunity to mess with my other settings as well. We're almost there. It's quiet and not so noisy in the room. Stream is at 4K. My computer's running without lag. There's only one problem left to solve in this transition, which is that I'm still getting these random disconnects. I don't know what's causing it. I'm able to get back on if I catch it. I can quickly stop stream and continue it, and then The bitrate works perfectly after that. I don't know what it is. It's like somewhere within 20 minutes in, something breaks, the bitrate drops to 0, it'll disconnect stream, but if I stop and restart, bitrate's perfect, flawless, and then it doesn't get messed up for the whole rest of the stream. So if anyone who's smarter than me at streaming knows what would cause that, let me know. I thought I had fixed it, dropping my bitrate bit by bit earlier this morning, and I found a number where wasn't messing up anymore, and then it still happened. I was doing my test on a private stream, and then of course, once I go actually live, I got problems. I don't know what to tell you, I got problems. Don't think you can make it smaller without setting your whole screen scale to lower percent. You can make it hide though, so you can't see it unless you hover over where it should be. Ooh, how do I do that, Dancer? Do you know off the top of your head? You don't have to tell me. I can Google it later. Or now. I feel like I don't want it there when I'm... Taskbar behaviors, auto hide. There we go. Incredible. The incredible power of stream tech support. Do you know if it's just the stream that drops out, or can you determine if the entire net conks out? I don't think it's the whole internet. I don't know how I would figure it out. I guess I could try to make it happen again and then like see if my phone still works fine or check on my other computer or something. I don't think so, because when it happened on Friday, I ran a speed test while it was happening and I was getting my full up and down. I really don't know what it is. Something about drivers. Drivers for what though? I'm on the newest OBS. Like, would NVIDIA drivers affect that? I don't think so, but computers are black magic, so I really don't know. I thought you hated using Windows. I do. I mean, listen to what I'm having a talk through right now. But I can't blame this on Windows. I don't know, my stream didn't do this stuff with my Mac. Actually, no, it did, but for weird reasons. I'm not gonna get into the superstitions of it, but I found out that having a particular light on the same electrical circuit as my computer would make my stream bits disappear. Let me get my YouTube control panel back up. There we go. I love you, Mr. Zapata. Thank you, Mozzarella. I love you too. What am I gonna draw today? I don't know. I'm mostly here to just make announcements, so I really don't know what I want to draw. Well, first off, let's get rid of this wide thing. This is mostly a way to torture test. Streaming, I streamed 4 days a week last week and streaming again today. I'm mostly just torture testing my streams. That second disconnect, I know what that was about. I ran over real quick to do a speed test to see if my general internet was working. Full up, full down. So I don't think it's my general internet. I'm starting to think it might be that I'm using, I think it might be that I'm using the new AV1 encoders on YouTube. Maybe I need to use a different encoder. Quite the torture test. Yeah. Lack Aslam says, sub Steven, sub Goblin Fam, can't draw long because I've a class at 7. Enjoy the stream. Thank you. What is your ears consuming both sound waves and internet waves? I think that's probably it. I think that's probably it. I'm really sorry, everybody. I wish you could have seen the number of tests that I did. I mean, I ran so many private test streams trying to clear this problem up, and I really thought I had gotten rid of it, and I had not. I'm sorry, everyone. Maybe we're the problem. We just all lose connection at the same time. I wish. If only things were that simple. I don't know how I'm going to keep test running this and figure out what the heck happened or what is happening. Maybe I have to keep dropping my bitrate even lower and lower and lower, but my stream has I'm giving it 2x overhead on my upload speed. I'm streaming at half my upload speed right now, which they say is safe. Feels like that's a lot of overhead. I just don't know. I think next stream I'll try streaming with not AV1. I'll try the whatever the heck the other ones are, HVEVC or something like that. Maybe it's a problem on YouTube's side because it's one of the newer encoders, something like that. Oh my God, all you nerds out there, please, please. I'm a nerd too, but I'm not as smart of a nerd as you guys are. All the actual smart nerds who aren't fakers, email me. What the hell is happening? Any pro streamers out there, what is happening? Please help me, boy. Hello, Arknark. Jim Mull says, Steven, you are perfect. Easy, Jim. Easy. We don't want to upset everybody. Stream problems happen all the time. It's whatever. I still feel bad. I still feel ashamed. Well, my TV show is off the air due to technical difficulties. I'm sure I will figure it out at some point. Don't devalue your bitrate. Raise it until it can't go any higher. I mean, I will. I thought the bitrate was the problem. But you know how this stuff goes. I might be misdiagnosing it, right? So it seemed like I had fixed it by dropping the bitrate to below the 2x overhead. That's what I found in the middle of testing today, at least. But if I find out the problem is something else, then obviously I'll push my bitrate back up as high as it'll go. But it's a little hard to know till I actually identify what the source of the problem is. Let's just do... My real name is not Jim. Steven, I've tricked you. Now, why do you want to trick Steven? Why do you want to trick Steven? Have you tried restarting your PC? I think I've restarted my PC 300 times today at this point. I think it's time to start taking seriously some of the real solutions. I gotta start putting butter in my shoes or making frog sounds while I boot up. I've got to start sacrificing exotic birds. You all know how it is. I got a lot to get used to. Not even used to my keyboard. Hey, say anything. Matt Summerson says, hello, Stephen. First time catching stream. Welcome. Welcome. So happy to have you here. Unfortunately, we are mired in tech problems because I'm in the process of switching my setup. And computers are not what they claim to be. They claim to just be silicon, electricity running through channels, the same answer every time, perfectly predictable. I can promise you, this is a lie. This is not how computers work. Each one is an individual beast. It has a soul, an actual Cartesian soul, and everything that surrounds it affects what it does. They are not predictable. They are living beings. I can promise you this. My experiences with computers have assured me of this. The weather, how many pets are in your house, when the last time you prayed was, all of these things affect your computer's performance, your internet's performance. All of these things are true, I assure you. I'm telling you, what did me in was, what was it, 2 years ago or about a year ago when I found out truly objectively that having a light in my room on made my bitrate drop. I mean, I think I still have the recording saved somewhere on the hard drive of my old computer of just me running a test stream, and I look crazy, and I'm just turning the light off and watching I'm turning the light on and watching the bitrate plummet, and then I'm turning the light back on and watching the bitrate shoot back up, and I'm just going, no fucking way. No fucking way. That changed me. That changed me as a person. Very superstitious about computers since then. Hi, Stephen. Love your art. Lucky I bought your stream today. You bought my stream? You caught my stream. That must be what you mean. Yes, I'm assuming that. I also am lucky that you caught my stream. Any particular reason for the setup change? I am working on I just needed to be able to record my screen at higher resolutions without lag. And the best answer for that these days is to have an NVIDIA card because, oh, Windows, why the hell? Sorry, I'm getting mad at the way auto select works on the Windows version of Photoshop. Okay, it's all right, Stephen. Don't scream. Don't scream. God damn it. Let's turn that off. Now if I do this, yes. And if okay, now we're it back to normal. What was I saying? I needed to be able to record at higher resolutions without lag, and NVIDIA cards, the newer NVIDIA cards are the best way to do that. You know, with the hardware encoders built into the card. AMD cards and other things have hardware encoders built in, but NVIDIA has the broadest support for that stuff. You know, you lose some things if you use AMD's hardware encoders or the hardware encoders on the new Apple Silicon chips, which, I don't know, you read crazy stuff about it. Like, you can't actually stream with them because they don't do CBR and things like that. That's great when you got the streaming in your life and recording in your life. It changes a lot of stuff. It's very technical, but yeah, that's why I switched. Mostly because I'm working on a new course as well, and that one's going to be a lot more digital stuff. My Form from Imagination, all the videos are glorious 4K, which is important for pencil drawing because you want to see the texture and the grain of how you're laying things down, because that's important to the student as well. They want to be able to kind of compare the actual smoothness of the product and things like that, and how you're handling the paper grain to the way they're handling the paper grain. But that was easy for me to do because all the demos are traditional, and I have a really good camera that handles all the recording for me, and the camera's designed to do that. It does it perfectly, right? But for screen recording, I could not do that. I had to, if I wanted to get no lag while working for long periods of time, I needed to record at 1080p or below, and I just didn't want that for a course that I wanted to stay contemporary for a long time. Steven, who would win, 1 goblin fully naked or 12 fully armored little bridge people? I'd say just underdog rules mean that the 12 fully armored little bridge people would win. I don't know, on the, I was actually just being asked in the car the other day, some of those size-based would you rather fight questions, and I actually usually wind up on the side of I don't want to fight the 100 things. Like, I would rather go for the 1 most of the time rather than the volume, just because I feel like what you don't think about is that if you're fighting 100 anything, you're gonna wind up on the ground, I feel like, and then you're done, you know? Like, if you're in anything but the most controlled environment, like if you're fighting this thing outside, I mean, if 20 of those put pressure on 1 foot and you slip in the mud, you're on the ground. And then you have to ask different questions, like, can you handle 100 of these things while you're on the ground? Now, everyone thinks they're gonna be kicking. It's like when you're kicking, you're spending most of your time balanced on 1 foot. Unless you have great balance, that 1 foot that isn't kicking is going to become the focus of at least 50 of the whatever it is, you know, duck-sized horses, right? Do you really think that 1 foot can take the pressure from 50 duck-sized horses? I don't know. So whenever I think about that, I always, I think I'd rather go for the 1 big one. You know, at least I know where it is, and I know what direction to run away, right? Like when I imagine, you know, getting flanked by 30 duck-sized horses, you know, you got to keep track. A lot of situational awareness, and I'm not a guy with a lot of situational awareness, so I don't know. I'd take the 1, I think. $1 trillion lions or the sun, who would win? I'll take the sun on that one. Hold on, let me look at this. That was this. Well, that's not right. There we go. The Lions would only win if they fought the sun at night. Jesus. Jesus, man. That's a fucked up thing to say. Stephen faces giants every day, known as left Irius and right Irius. They're always flanking me, that's for sure. I should say again, if you haven't noticed the giant sticker on the left side of the screen. This is the last day of the Form from Imagination sale. The Forma from Imaginación sale. The coupon was busted yesterday. I apologize for that. It is fixed now. I think I hear a kitten. Like a cat. Maybe behind my building. Quick question, do you have to use color in a portfolio? Depends what kind of portfolio. Like for storyboards, there's probably quite a few storyboard. I bet there's a lot of people who need storyboards that would hire you without color in them. You know? That doesn't mean all storyboard jobs don't need color. It's like on portfolio questions like that, the answer is always like, does the let's say you wanted to be a concept artist and there was a hypothetical video game that was black and white. That job doesn't need color. And an art director who isn't making bad calls would understand that they could hire you for that job if you had a great no color portfolio. If they saw that you had great black and white stuff. But if you are applying for a gig that really relies on color, you know, something where color design is hugely important, like Overwatch or something like that, where they use colors to separate lots of things in very important ways, you probably can't get that job without color. It always just depends what the product is. I wish I could say I'm fully focused on drawing right now, but I have to admit I'm not. I'm basically just waiting for stream to drop out again. I want to know what's causing it. I want to fix it. Damn, I'm not used to my, God dang it. I'm not used to my keyboard either. Why did my shortcut for cut change? Are they doubled up? Why am I opening Liquify? Liquify is a filter, right? Shift Control X is Liquify. I'm not pressing Shift. The heck is going on here? Oh, maybe I am pressing Shift. My Shift key is stuck. Well, it might be my key. It might just be that Photoshop is a piece of shit. Okay. All right. Very good. Another of a billion examples of why traditional is better than digital. Nothing unusual or mysterious happens. Can you draw stuff in H.R. Giger style? Impossible. It would be impossible for me to do that. I don't even feel like I need to try because I feel like very kindly comparisons to Giger are some of the most common comparisons I get with my art. So I think I'm somewhere in that universe without even really trying. Whoa, on later than normal? That's right. That's right. I'm mixing it up. I'm changing things around. You thought I was only early, boy. Wrong. Wrong. Mizubi says, why are naked women a problem? Are they? I don't think they're a problem, Mizubi. Explaining to your parents that you're looking at naked women online to learn anatomy. Oh, you gotta, I see the context now. You guys gotta get it. You gotta get over that fast. I remember one time I had a bunch of people, over my place to watch Game of Thrones at my apartment. And I connected the like Chromecast or whatever to my computer where I was gonna cast it from. And it was before I had casted from HBO, so it was just like my laptop screen, and they just got full frontal male nudity from a model that I had been drawing earlier in the day. And I didn't even register. I was like, haha, whoops, and then went over to HBO, and it was like a friend of mine got like, you know, it was too much for her, you know, and she got a little uncomfortable for me, and she was like, sorry, he's an artist. And I was like, was that disclaimer necessary? I didn't feel the need to justify what had happened at all. I was just like, what? In that moment, I was just like, oh, come on, we've all got naked people on our computers, relax. Where do you think baby goblins come from? I want to say goblin mamas, but I feel like there might be something I don't know that maybe you all know. Stephen enjoyed that very much. I did. I have to admit that I got a real kick out of my friend feeling the need to justify it to the other people in the room. I gave them shit for that for for a while afterwards. It's gonna take me a while to rebuild my muscle memory for my new keyboard configuration. I got nothing but stuff that I gotta fix up. There's this dude who posts himself on the line of action references thing that really. Well, it's different when you're choosing to post yourself up like that. That's different. I mean, the photo that popped up on my, in that story, the photo that popped up on my computer was just like, it'd be different, I guess, if it was something more hardcore seeming or something like that. But it was like clearly a model photo situation. Like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like the equivalent of a full, like top to bottom, evenly lit, you know, you could see the top of their head, bottom of their feet, dude holding like a stick in like a very generic pose. Like, who's getting off to this, you know? Like, it's really clear this isn't something, I don't even want to say it's really clear this isn't something strange, because I don't want to imply that something weirder than that would have been strange or something like that. Like, but I just thought in that case, it was like, yeesh. You see racier stuff at the mall, like chill. You should have countered with, I'm not an artist, I'm just a pervert. That would have been more clever. If only I'd had the presence of mind and wit to think to say that. Yeah, I just don't get it. Now stream's golden, right? I mean, everything looks smooth to everyone. We're in 4K. Looks crisp, we're not dropping frames. I sound good, right? Okay. Now I know. Now I know there's something out to get me. I mean, that was uncanny. Right when I'm like, everything's great, right? Suddenly it fucking dips. What the fuck? Something's up. That's not funny. That's not funny. It dropped out completely. I had to quit stream. I had to restart it. God damn it. The fuck? I gotta figure out what the hell this is. I gotta figure out what the hell this is doing this. I really need to figure out what's doing this. It's driving me crazy. I'd mess with the bitrate if it wouldn't reboot stream, but I don't know what else to I tried so much stuff. I tried so much stuff earlier today. Next stream, I'm gonna make a little list of things I'm gonna try real quick before I forget. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the bitrate like another 25%. See what happens, even though I'm starting to think that ain't it. What I am suspecting it is now, I'm gonna try another encoder, another one of the NVIDIA encoders. It might just be that I'm using the newest, most experimental one. But you know you want to use the best. I'll try the second best, see if that has any effect. I mean, it's too on the nose. They're listening. If there's any stream pros out there, please help. PLEs, please respond. Send me an email. Help me figure out my bits. I love you too, Jim. Don't worry. Don't you worry, Jim. I love you too, baby. Steven, stop talking about it. Yeah, I think I really need to stop talking about it. What happened? Nothing. I got a new stream set up. I'm torturing my audience by doing live tech tests and calling them streams. That's what this has become. I thought this would be a real stream. That's what I thought. I thought I'd fix this. I'd run a lot of test streams where I let the thing run for over an hour and nothing happened. And I had not solved it. I was wrong. I also now have no idea how long I've been live because I've had to reset my stream clock over and over again. Or my stream timer down there has been resetting and I didn't have my stopwatch on. This is why you gotta use your stopwatch. Even when you got other clocks going, you have to use your stopwatch. I wouldn't be confused now. Jake Lockhart says, hey, I got your course off the sale, so you love me more now, right? Yes, I do. I mean, it's a very simple transaction. I mean, if you buy something that I made, I'm obviously going to love you more. I don't think there's anything controversial about that. It's just the way things are, my friends. Had to watch your stream. I've been drawing a lot of statues. Oh, statues are the best. Love drawing statues. I've done a lot of it. They're just so one hue. They just reveal forms so clearly because there's not all the confusion of the value of the color of skin or something like that, and all the little, you know, human skin has like value variations all around it. You know, lots of local color and local value variations. A statue just, or like a really pristine statue, really gets rid of a lot of that. Not all statues are perfectly pristine. There's lots of kinds of like marble and things like that that also have a lot of natural variation. Stephen, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? Stop it with that. I don't. I never do. Shut up. I haven't thought about the Roman Empire since I was in Rome. Jake says, nice, I'm loving it, by the way. Oh, I'm very glad. I'm on the drawing faces from TV shows bit. I like that assignment a lot. Or that exercise in general. I've been doing that for a long time. Do, 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 do. Do you have a favorite sculptor? Oh, I'm a fan of many, many sculptors. I like, I don't even know where to begin. Rodin, obviously, is one of the greats. I really, in particular, find Rodin very inspirational. I went to his museum when I was in Paris, and it's a great experience. You'll see a bunch of Rodins that you'll never see online if you ever get a chance to go. It's a wild place. He did so many strange and experimental things. But yeah, I love the way he exaggerated forms and it still felt natural. And his strange compositional choices and things like his Gates of Hell. I mean, the Gates of Hell by Rodin has probably had as much or more impact on me than most paintings and drawings. I've seen it in many different castings and ogled many different versions of it. Besides Rodin, let's see. Well, there's a lot. Carpeaux, who did Ugolino and his Sons. Ugolino and his Sons. Ugolino and his Sons. Great sculptor. Michelangelo, obviously, but that basically goes without saying. It's hard for me to remember the names. I have a sculpture reference folder on my old computer where I have a lot of sculptures I really like saved. Bernini, obviously. Do not miss the Borghese Gallery if you go to Italy. You can see like, what is it, like 4 or 5 of Bernini's most legendary sculptures all in one place. American sculptors, what's his name? Gaudens, I want to say. Gaudens, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he was like an American sculptor who, I don't know if he was born in America, but he did a lot of famous work in America. It's like Saint Auguste Gaudens. Someone probably knows his name better than me, but he did a lot of famous like memorial and monumental sculpture that we have around here in New York City. And it's always been fascinating to me that you can't really get a close look at them a lot of the time. You know, they're up high on buildings or high up on pedestals, but if you get up as near them as you can, you actually check them out. They're like beautifully done, beautifully, beautifully done. And very well composed. I'm inspired by how gracefully he composed his forms. That's not something I'm good at. I'm not a graceful artist. I'm more of a brute force artist, so I'm always impressed when people have that natural grace that, I don't know, maybe it comes from not having to try as hard your whole life or something. Maybe certain things came to you easier. I don't know. Stephen, when is the next drawing meditation video? 2 weeks it would be, or next week, that is to say. Actually, next week might not be a meditation. It might be the, well, you know, it's a meditation for all intents and purposes, you know, meditative discussion, but I think it might be, I forget what the schedule has on it right now. It might be the talk with the recording of a digital painting I finished recently, but I have to actually record the script for that. I haven't done that yet. I need to sit and do the audio, but it might be ready by next week. I think it will be a discussion on the nature of uncertainty. Stephen, do you recommend any computers, laptops? I'm looking to get myself one since the junk box I call a computer can't handle Photoshop anymore. It's hard to recommend computers and stuff like that for me. Oh God. Because it really does come down to what you need to do with it. The truth is that if you're trying to just use Photoshop, you don't need that much, actually. I can tell you that, like, for example, Photoshop barely uses your GPU. Like, if there's not other stuff you do, you really don't need, you need something like lower mid-range to do a lot of Photoshop, right? Now, if you go pro and you're getting files from other artists and they're sending you huge files, that's different, right? Then you might need some high-end stuff. But until you do that, if you're just trying to draw and paint, you actually don't need a lot of power. Yeah, Photoshop barely uses your GPU. It's like all CPU. You can run Photoshop with 16 gigs of RAM for most drawing purposes. If you're gonna do more complicated files, you probably want 32. I've got 32 on this one. If you're gonna get big files from artists, even more than that would be good. Because Photoshop will eat RAM, but basically doesn't use your GPU unless you're using particular filters. So yeah, it's hard for me to recommend computers because I think you can use almost anything if it's just about Photoshop. It comes down to what other stuff you do. Like I just switched computers. It's not really about Photoshop. I had to make my switching decision based on the fact that I record and stream constantly now. So I wasn't really shopping for a Photoshop computer. I was shopping for a recording and streaming computer. I don't know, and I'm an idiot with computers. I'm frugal about just about everything else, you know, like I don't buy clothes, I hate cars. I'm pretty frugal about everything else, but my tendency with computers is just like every slider to the right, maximum price, purchase. I'm that kind of an idiot. With anything that I work on, I get like that, just because I don't like being annoyed while I work. I get very obsessive about it. So yeah, I'm probably a bad person to ask. Ask someone who's more reasonable than me and base it on, I would say, base it on the other stuff you do, not just Photoshop. Goodbye, Jim Wool. You hope to catch another stream? You will. There's other streams to catch. Stephen, what was your art teacher like in college? I had a lot of good teachers. I had a few, you know, mediocre ones, but for the most part, they were very good. I went to a good school. I think at a lot of institutions, you'd get, you know, mostly bad ones and then get a few good ones. I feel like at Art Center, I got most of my teachers they weren't assholes. They were either I really liked them or they were totally tolerable, and I had very few junkers. I remember the ones who sucked though. They sucked ass, but yeah, they were few and far in between, so they didn't ruin my experience at all. Stephen, how hard do you think the transition from being a lifelong traditional artist to digital would be? I'm thinking of pivoting to more commercial work, but not sure what the transition curve would be. The thing is that if you have a lot of mileage, Sarah, doing traditional work, and you can get good results, you can transition pretty quickly for the purposes of work. But the thing is, you might be thinking that there's a level where like digital feels like traditional, where it feels just as good. And I'm inclined to say there isn't. Like, you can transition quickly, but there is kind of, in my opinion, there is a cap to sort of like how comfortable digital can feel and how good it can feel. And especially if you have found a way to excel with traditional, how good you can make a digital piece compared to how good you can make a traditional piece. I think there's a cap, I'll be honest. So if you have these commercial reasons to do it, I would dive in, because those things that I said, those caps, they shouldn't change the fact that you want to make money in these other industries and things like that. I would say dive in. I think limit the tools in the beginning to kind of act as much as you can manage. Try to use them the way that you use your traditional tools. And then later open up to like the chaos of digital. By later, I mean maybe after like 6 months. It doesn't have to be like a super long amount of time. But yeah, be pretty, keep it pretty traditional feeling while you prove to yourself that you can do good digital work, because keeping it similar to your existing process is usually the fastest way to get to like that first eureka piece where you're like, oh, it actually looks good. Maybe it doesn't look like my traditional work, but it doesn't look like crap, But yeah, I think there's a cap. I think there's just only so good digital can feel. No matter what you do, you're staring at a light bulb for hours. That hurts. You're bent over it. That hurts. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how fancy your brushes, you are grazing a tiny piece of plastic against a glassy, smooth screen or tablet. There's really nothing you're going to be able to do about that. Maybe you're a different kind of artist. Maybe you're not going to feel that way. But I know for me, as someone who probably thinks in terms of traditional first, I never quite got over that. Stephen, have you ever drawn a Batman or a Spawn piece? No, not really. Occasionally doodled Batman in my sketchbook or something like that. I did a drawing of Batman as a gift for a friend once, but besides that, no. I don't really do a lot of fan art. I spend most of my time drawing my own stuff these days, to my detriment, probably. Don't think about the bits. Don't think about the bits. Do not. Hold on a second. Nick, I saw that video that you sent me on Discord, by the way. I haven't watched it yet, but thank you for sending me that. I gotta watch it because I've been wondering what happened in that Insight forum. I don't know how much he can actually say in the video. He's probably got some limits on how much he can talk about what happened in there, but yeah, I'll check that out. Keep putting my finger on the function key instead of control. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sure we'll be back to normal feeling streams soon. Once I'm used to my keyboard, once I'm used to my new Windows Photoshop glitches, because Photoshop will never run without glitches. And once I am no longer under attack by the bitrate goblins. The bitrate goblins. Hi, Joe. Conspiracy theory. Steven draws angels so that he has an excuse to draw half-naked men. How's that a conspiracy theory? There's no conspiracy there. That's just out in the open. That is just self-evident. I'm always looking for excuses to get these goddamn clothes out of the way. So limiting. I don't know why. It's just the way my art brain works. I'm just like, just let me show you that I know where all the muscles are. That's like, that's all my brain keeps heading towards. I got no interest in drawing all this FUBU and Rockaway. New sketch. New sketch, who dis? Do you plan to stream on a schedule? No. I generally do, I don't stream on Fridays usually. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are up for grabs. And I stream 2 to 3 times a week. I'm really resistant to putting it on a tight schedule, like anything tighter than what I just said, because it's still creativity, you know? I may be very comfortable doing it, and I don't have a lot of expectations from myself when I stream, but no matter what, it's still creativity. So there's only so much you can put that on a schedule. I kind of love the impromptu streams. It just means I sometimes miss the first 80 minutes. Yeah, well, you know, I leave them all up. Can always go back and watch. I'm not super focused right now, unfortunately. I'm really just waiting for stream to crash again because it's crashed so many times already. Steven, I was asking you about scheduling for artists earlier. Like, yeah, I want to have a guide, but at the same time, I want to be free with work. I mean, I think it really is trade-offs, you know? So if you're a professional, or if you're trying to be a professional, I would say that there's very good reason to put yourself on a schedule. But if you are a professional, it's self-evident. It's like you have jobs coming in and you need to finish them, right? So you want to stick to a schedule so that you regularly have the amount of hours you need to complete the work. But if you're trying to be a professional, it's a good reason to get on a schedule early so that you build the habit of being on a schedule. Because a lot of artists temperamentally are just like, we're a little flighty, you know, we don't want to feel constrained. It's part of our openness. So you want to put yourself on a schedule early, even if you're not getting all these jobs yet, so that you get used to it, so you don't feel bound up when the jobs come in, because the jobs have their own problems, right? If you're not trying to get a job soon, or you don't think it's realistic that you'll have a job soon, or you'll transition to all art all the time soon, I actually think for a lot of artists, it's not a good idea to put yourself on a schedule. Unless you do it with wisdom, it can easily lead to burnout because you didn't do it right. You focused too much on the numbers. You were just trying to treat yourself like a workhorse. You enslave your creativity to, random numbers that are sort of unvetted, unscrutinized, coming from nowhere. It's not a good idea. I think for a lot of, especially hobbyists and people who feel like the career aspirations are far down the line, get a lot of rest, live a broad life, and ride the currents of inspiration. I really do think that. I think that the gut reaction away from that is just hustle culture indoctrination. It's creativity. At its core, it is as bohemian as everybody thinks it is, you know? Goodbye, Nick. Thank you for being here. Stephen roasting my unwise ass every time. Apologies. Maybe I'm feeling extra vicious because I'm upset that my stream keeps crashing. Bye, Joe. Talk soon. Good luck at your meeting. How big is this right now? Ryan Umbra says, when I was in my art grind set hustle phase was the time I was least productive. I still drew every day, but was way less, way less and got way less good work out of it. It happens, you know. You've actually got to be really careful about how you set up the grind. If you don't tune it just right, almost everybody's just going to wind up getting diminishing returns from it. You're just going to exhaust yourself, and then because you're exhausted and you feel like crap, you're going to start aligning with the wrong incentives, you know, just to make yourself think everything's going okay. You're just going to focus on numbers. You know, did I sit there and did I sit at my desk for 8 hours today? Yeah, I did. Okay, everything's fine. Dad's going to be proud of me, you know. Did I do 1,000 boxes today or 1,000 figure studies? Yeah, I did. I mean, they all suck and I don't remember them and I barely learned anything, but I did do 1,000, so mom's not going to be mad at me tonight. It could be your real mom or your hypothetical mom, your spirit mom. And when those are your incentives, you're just wasting years. It's got to be the art first. You've got to be connecting with the work first. It can't be the perceived nature of your lifestyle that is giving you all your energy. Hey, Stephen, do you make art every day? And if so, when did you start and got any tips or words of caution? I do draw on most days. The vast majority of days, I do some amount of drawing. And that's been the case for a long time, for a very long time. Probably since I was, I would say, I mean, I was trying to remember a while ago exactly what I did in high school. I drew a lot in high school, but I feel like I had enough other interests and things like that that there must have been periods where I didn't really draw. But I remember being upset that I didn't draw in high school. Like I remember having those feelings, feeling like I needed to make time to draw. I remember having those feelings in high school, but yeah, I just had so much other stuff to do that I know I must have gone longer periods without drawing. But after high school, so end of high school, so 17-ish, would have begun a multi-decades long period where making sure I was drawing as many days as possible was my #1 priority. And I had basically no breaks in that. I was fully dedicated to that. And yeah, that was, I don't know, I drew more days than not every week, for sure. And there was months on end where I would draw every day, many, many months. And then, you know, that includes my college time, working in art after college, things like that. Now, yeah, I do draw most days, but I have a lot of other creative outlets that I do now. You know, I have to write things a lot of the time, give feedback to students a lot of the time. So now I have a lot of days too where I don't draw, but I write, you know, which is another way of being creative. I give students feedback on drawings, which some people might not consider drawing. I don't sometimes, even though a lot of that involves doing draw-overs and fixing things and things like that. That's a different kind of drawing, right? So, but they're all creative and they all keep me in touch with art and drawing. So I am creative the vast majority of days, and that's really my #1 priority now. I'm trying to really carefully calibrate myself for the marathon that I see between the age I am now, 33, and drawing heavily until the grave. I'm not kidding. That's how I make my decisions and things like that at this point. I've lived long enough to see that basically at every juncture in life will not incentivize you to sit down and draw. It will always offer something that's seemingly more important, will pay more, will produce less guilt because you'd be like, oh, well, I should be doing this. Could be any X, right? I should be doing X instead of drawing. Doing this errand, spending time with people I love, going to this thing, stuff like that. And those things are important, right? But the thing is that there's enough of those things in the world that if you chose, you could easily never draw again by choosing to do those things day after day after day. So I accept that now, that there's never going to be a time where life will make it easy for me to sit and draw. So my full commitment now is what choices do I have to make to not burn out and to manage my emotions and my livelihood and my lifestyle and my friends and my family, so that I will keep up a high amount of drawing until the day I die. Yeah. And that's what I focus on. Kurohiji gives me 5 R's. Thank you so much. I don't know what R's are, but I'm going to assume they're like 800 trillion US dollars, which I think is considerably more than the entire GDP of the United States. So I guess I run America now. Pretty good feeling. Wow, this is unexpected. Wow. Wow, I'm richer than everybody. Wow. I guess the only way this could have happened is if Kurohige was the previous richest person in the world, and now it's me. Pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool. Hey, Steven, tips on going from analog to digital art. I feel I'm struggling even with the basic sketching skills when drawing digitally. If you are drawing on a screenless tablet, that will pass with time. It's never going to be one-to-one. You know, nothing beats traditional for sketching. But you can get 95% of your hand ability back. But it'll take a long time. You know, it's a weird way to work. I would recommend taking full advantage of the transformation tools in Photoshop. I use a screen tablet now. You know, I'm drawing right on my screen, but that's pretty recent. I've only started doing that in the past couple years, less than 2 years. Most of my career, I preferred a screenless tablet for ergonomics. And yeah, I got most of my hand skill back, but another thing that I would do is that I got very used to, like, I would throw, let's say, the outline of an arm very aggressively, and it's just like, all right, that's the aggression and energy that I would want, but the proportions are off, you know, because I'm sort of having to deal with the hand-eye coordination problem of being on the screenless tablet. So I would draw it and then very quickly select it, transform it, and then make it the actual length that I wanted to be. And eventually that just became second nature to do that all the time. So if I was drawing legs, I would just go for the energy of the legs that I wanted, for example. And then I just got used to, like, all right, well, I know I'm always gonna make them a little too stubby, so I'll grab them, stretch them, make sure the upper leg is longer than the lower leg. And I just got really used to drawing like that. And yeah, that very easily overcomes the ability that you have to correct things by doing that, very easily overcomes the hand-eye coordination problem. I feel I'm struggling even with basic sketching skills when drawing digitally. And if you're on a screen tablet, it's gonna catch up even quicker. It's just weird. It's weird to draw on the computer. It's not a, you know, we have these companies that make these fancy gadgets and these freaking screens cost thousands of dollars. So that kind of implies that, you know, the value that they want to create there implies that, oh, this is great. This is a great experience. I say this all the time, and I'll stick by it. It's not a great experience. It's a brand new thing to do. This has only been around for a few decades, and it's not refined. It sucks. It's a shitty experience. You know, digital drawing, we have no idea what it could become if people, as hardware advances and as processing power advances, you've got to assume that the current technological paradigm for it is garbage, and it is. It's not anything like analog. So analog rocks. I mean, you couldn't even compare the sensitivity of traditional drawing to digital. It completely blows it out of the water. So you're never gonna get that, you know, but digital has a lot of, you know, I love drawing digital because it's so flexible, you know, it's extremely flexible. So just set your expectations straight there. Things will even out for you. It happens for everybody. It happens for everybody. It's just a weird way to work, and you need to get used to the weirdness, you know? Would you say it's discipline or your love for drawing that makes you draw every day? My love for drawing. I do my best to notice when it has become too gritty and too about discipline. And, you know, usually when I notice it, I'm noticing that it's been like that for a few weeks or something like that. And then I go through a pointed period where I try to reprogram and adjust it and fix it. I always try to go back to the fun. The discipline is like an easy thing to fall back into, and it's just not, it's not where you want to be. It's a good thing for other things, you know, like, you know, maybe exercise for your health, right? That has different stakes. For art, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced discipline's a great thing to impinge onto art. Art has different stakes, you know? The most important things that you can get out of art, like freedom from stress, a place to escape to in times of trouble, interesting spiritual experiences and things like that, almost rely on it being fun and joyful and not on it being disciplined. So yeah, just it's not exactly analogous to other things in life. Omar says, Steve, it was clever of you to make the audio slightly out of sync to cause confusion and drive engagement. This is just the nature of how Omar interacts with me. I mean, we're best friends, but the way Omar interacts with his friends is that he tries to make you uncomfortable. That's the only way he knows to have an interaction, He says, how can I make them paranoid or want to leap out of their skin or make them just uncomfortable or just dissatisfied somehow? And it fucking worked. My audio better not be out of sync. I do have specifically my webcam and my audio on delay, but they should be on the exact same delay. All right, my mic is on 185 milliseconds and my webcam is on hold on. It's also on 185 milliseconds, you liar. You're not gonna trick me. I know it's right. I'm looking. I'm looking at my lips right now. I'm looking at my lips right now. I'm looking at my lips right now, and they look totally normal. I'm looking at my lips right now, and they look totally normal. Yeah, you're not gonna trick me. It's perfectly good. It's perfectly good. You're not gonna trick me, you son of a bitch. You're not gonna trick me, you son of a bitch. Do you feel streaming amputates some of the enjoyment? Well, I do also try to make time to draw off stream, right? I couldn't, let me tell you where I'm at with streaming. If I was in a situation where I could only draw on stream, I'm not sure that would be satisfactory. You know, I make time now to draw off of stream as well, and I feel I need that, you know? If I was ever put in a situation where I could only draw on stream, you know, if time got that tight or something like that, I think I would probably have to stop streaming. I would need to find a different way to distribute my time. That said, the amount that stream, it's not amputates enjoyment or something, it's very simple, it's just distracting. It's just distracting to have chat, right? And to know that you're being recorded. But for me, the joys of being able to talk with people and to crack jokes and stuff like that, more than makes up for it, you know? I don't draw as well on stream as I do when I'm not streaming, obviously, you know, when I'm just me, I have my full focus, right? My full ability. So on stream, I probably only draw like 75% to 80% as well as I can. And I just don't care. That's just a perfectly adequate trade-off for me as far as I'm concerned. It's fun to talk to people. It's fun to not be alone in the studio all the time. It's not that different at work. You know, when I worked in studio, I wouldn't say that I worked at 100% at work either, because that also has distractions. You know, I would want to talk to people all the time, get up, wander around. People would come by my desk. You know, you're constantly getting interrupted by art directors. You're trying to do weird stuff on a piece. You know, everybody can see your screen and everyone's kind of looking over your shoulder. And, you know, you're in artist alley. Usually all the artists are together. So when a piece is like in the really bad puberty stage that every piece goes through in the middle, you can't help it. You just feel insecure. You know that you feel bad that it's like, oh, everyone could see this shitty thing that I'm working on. They don't know how it's going to wind up. I don't know how it's going to wind up. It's like, same thing happens at work, you know? And you work through it. It's not that big a deal. Curse Vita says, it is distracted, tried streaming today and drew for like 5 minutes on an hour stream. I know, it happens to me all the time. It's just the way things go. I feel, you know, I don't know, I feel lucky that that can happen. You know, I feel lucky, for example, like it's lucky to me that my chat moves at all, that you guys actually say things and ask questions, you know, that's, you know, other people would feel very fortunate about that. So I relish that, you know, I'm happy that I have people to talk to, you know, especially as someone who works from home. It's easy to just feel super disconnected and lonely. You know, I really value the distractions of stream, you know, of getting to know people and make connections. You know, it's a little parasocial, you know, by definition, the stream situation, but the connections are real to a degree, you know? I found that out at Lightbox, for sure. I met a bunch of people who knew me from stream at Lightbox and just like being introduced to a real person who was like, I watch your streams all the time, and we got to have a conversation about it. It was like, it is real. It is actually very real. It's not real until you meet in person, right? It's parasocial until then, but there is the possibility to meet and have it suddenly collapse a bit of the parasocial aspect, and that's just great. You know, it's great. Speaking of distracted though, I think I am going to stop pretending that I am going to do much work on this stream right off the bat. I'm not distracted by you guys as much. I'm used to that, but stream has crashed like 4 times. And I'm sitting here trying to draw, and I'm not really. I'm just waiting for it to crash again so I can try to figure out what the hell is happening or to just be upset. So I'm not really focused. I'm just gonna admit it. There's no need to fake it. And I'm getting a little hungry. It wasn't the best, but you know, we all have to crank out the turkeys somehow. What do we do? My stream timer is all messed up because I had to reset stream so many times. So if I go to my Discord, I made the stream announcement at 5:30. So we did about an hour and 45 minutes. I'll stay on for a little bit and answer some questions if anyone has any final questions. Don't forget that the Black Friday sale ends today for Form from Imaginazione, my drawing course. You get 10% off with code FRY23 at checkout. So go check it out at formfromimagination.com. Today is the last day for 10% off. Until the next sale. Because time will go on, this too shall sail. And I am gonna go eat some dinner because I'm hungry and annoyingly probably run more fucking stream tests to try to pinpoint what the hell is messing with my bit rate. Oh, I'll take it all the way. Oh, I will switch internet service providers if it comes to it. You wanna see an angry Steven? The day after I switch my ISP and I start a stream and I'm like, all right, boys, we did it. This has to fix it, right? And my bitrate trashes again. You'll see an angry Steven then when I've gone through the struggle of switching my service provider. Aisha says, I have very comfortable places I can sketch in public where people don't bother me. Those are always nice. But if I go to McDonald's to sketch, everyone will stop me and watch me. So I'll go sketch at my Zen sketch. Man, even at McDonald's people will hold you up? It's annoying. Your hunger is actually affecting your bit rate like that light did. I'm not a superstitious guy at all, except with technology. I'm telling, there's haunted spirits inside of computers. I'm telling you this. They're not what they say they are. They say they're predictable. They're just silicone, that the electricity is gonna go down the same groove every time. They lie. They lie. They're not predictable. They're affected by the wind and Mercury and retrograde and when the last time you sneezed was. I'm telling you it's true. I've been using computers long enough to know that that has to be true. These things don't make any fucking sense. Thank you, sup y'all D. I appreciate it. Have a very supreme day, brother. Keep on being cool, Colonel. Yay. Thank you for the stream, Steven. I usually watch the VODs. LOL, do you have a schedule? I don't have a tight schedule. The closest thing I could say about my schedule is I don't stream Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Everything else is up for grabs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I like to stream, and I stream 2 to 3 days a week, usually. But I don't stick to a tight schedule because it's still creativity, right? It's not like I'm sitting down to play Call of Duty or something. I'm sitting here drawing. I still have to be creative, so it's a difficult thing to kind of force onto a schedule, you know? Or I could, but I don't think it'd be good for my mental health, you know? I don't think it'd be good for my mental health. You know, the amount that I stream now and the flexibility of it is sort of calibrated where it's like, it's right at the edge of my comfort there. You know, if I do 3 days a week, I'm beat. You know, at the end of those 3 days, I'm like, there's no way I could do a 4th day of streaming, even though I did that last week. So yeah, no real schedule. Your computer knows your posture on AI, that's why it's acting up. I'm considering no, imagine I made like a ChatGPT account and said nice things to it, and then my bitrate problem went away. I'd never get over it. I think it would ruin my life. I think it would ruin my life. All right, everybody, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go make some food. Thank you for being here. This is the last day for the stream. You still, for the sale, you still got time. So if you've been thinking about You Get the Course, now is a great time. 10% off with 23 Fry, and it's I'm very happy to have been here with you. I'm sorry for the tech problems. I am trying. Again, please believe me, I did so many private test streams before I went live. I had problems this morning. I identified I was having stream problems, and they were repeatable and regular. And then I found a solution that fixed them. They were no longer repeatable. They stopped happening. And I let multiple streams run for over an hour. And I was like, this is solid. And I go live for real and I saw the problems. I'm really sorry. I don't like turning my streams into live tech troubleshooting. It sucks. So yeah, just apologies again. And I hope to fix this soon and just be back to normal streaming. All right, everybody. Take care. Goodbye to Arknark. Goodbye to Mary Beth Mondock. Goodbye to Boxing Ring 1970, Jim Wool, Colin Gallagher, Arknark Warriong, Aisha W., Cursed Fetus, Zella Faye, Fractithist, Marceline Alkintowana, Danny Kata, Jim Wool, Neil Kowalkowski, and who could forget, Multi-Revelator. Take care, everybody. Happy drawing. And if I can fix my stream problems, I will see you tomorrow because I want to have a smooth stream instead of a bad stream. So I want to give it another go. God damn it. Bye-bye.